Hello everyone and welcome to Willow Talk for another week. Adam Peacock here and, this edition is just all about captains. It's about captains doing great things. It's about captains talking about great things. It's about captains talking about great players. And joining us off the top, because later on we'll hear from Pat, but he's irrelevant this week, given what this woman did less than 24 hours ago after we sit here right now, or before we sat here right now. She was out there just giving it to India, which was fantastic in a World Cup match. Alyssa Healy, who, replicated her heroics from a few years ago and helped Australia get home. And, it wasn't the final, but it was a big match. And Heels, I'm sure you've woken up as we sit here right now on the Monday over there in India, pretty happy with life.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out it feels like about 3 hours ago, so this could be fun. But yeah, thank you. It was a good day all around. Obviously, to do what we did was pretty cool. I think we chased down the highest one day total in the women's game, which is a nice place to be in a World Cup in a big moment. I think it was a big game for both sides. So to know we could pull ourselves over the line was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good cricket as well. Chasing down 300 plus. You did it, I won't say comfortably, but it was a game that was in the balance all the way. And we'll talk about the ins and outs of how it all transpired. But as you wake up after spending the majority of the match out there in the middle, how are you feeling, Heels?
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit tired. For anyone who may have watched the fixture, it's a little bit hot and humid over here, as it traditionally is in India. Not a lot of breeze off the ocean over here, sadly, so it was a tough work. I think at one point I had like a full body cramp once I finally got out. I was in the change room and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I had to lie down or what was about to unfold, but I feel okay, thankfully. So hopefully we've got a couple of quiet days here in Vizag, so hopefully it's just a nice, easy lead back into training before our next fixture against Bangladesh, but the body feels good, so I'm lucky.
Excellent. Apart from the full body cramp, because you had Christchurch, that mammoth innings over there in that World Cup final, the arm cramp. This just took over the whole being.
Well, funnily enough, the forearm cramp came again. Thankfully, only my bottom hand, so I could sort of manage with the top hand a little bit. Maybe it helped my cricket. I'll wait and see the full rundown from my dad later. But this was thankfully after I'd already got out, so I went back to the change room, and then the aircon was on, and obviously I stopped, and everything stopped moving, and then my body decided to just completely shut down. But that was fun. We got the important part done, which is good. But it's just you never know what your body's going to throw at you in these conditions. It's quite remarkable.
What? So you went there, you just yelled out, "Help! Help!"
Basically, yes, because it was just me in the change room. Megan Shute was there, and our manager was sitting there, obviously working hard on something on her laptop. And I was like, uh-oh, and I laid down. And she's like, "Are you okay? Like, do I need to get someone?" I'm like, no, I'm good. And then everything, like, cramp starts to take over, and it almost just works its way through your body. And I went, "Oh, God." I was like in a ball. And then next minute, the physio's running in. And I was like, how did she even know that was happening? So the manager's obviously like on her phone messaging away, like somebody come in and help her. But it was all fun. It's a horrible place to be.
Well, you recovered quickly because Mel Jones obviously asked you at the presentation about ice baths and pickle juice, and you just said beer. So, yeah, you obviously got over it quick.
Yeah, there may have been a couple of kingfishers on ice when we got back. So I thought that was the perfect recovery tool. But, I might have to be a bit of an athlete today. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, no. Just take it easy. Do what you want after what you did. Absolutely. So this is, we're going to chat to Heels about that game and the ins and outs as well. Interested to get Heels' thoughts on how you're out there in the middle and that the opposition are just humming along and how you change momentum. We'll get to that. We'll talk about the Women's World Cup as a whole as well, and some intriguing, weird results. South Africa, I'm not sure what to think of them. Do India miss out on the top four? Unlikely, but could happen. Never know. And later on in this edition, Pat Cummins, as mentioned at the top, his best 11. That's the thing we've got at the moment on Willow Talk, and it's time for Pat to roll out his best 11 that he has played Test cricket with. Make sure you check out Our social media channels at Willow Talk Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and check out YouTube, of course, for the full-length videos. And Heels, this morning we wake up and we've got lots of love for you with our messages. Jane has said, so good, ever reliant. Well done, Heels, what a champ. Zach said, Willow Talk's finest, that's our captain. I like the fact that you've done something for your nation and then we get loped in with it like we've had something to do with it. That's great, Heels. Yeah, we'll claim that.
Maybe we manifested it somewhere along the lines through the off season of every day I was at training and come and do Willow Talk. We manifested it somehow, so we should all get the love.
Yeah, exactly. And Ed, this is a ripper. The lads are on an Aussie rugby tour in Fiji, and we're all fizzing over Midge's big knock. Can't wait to hear her talk about it. There you go. It's like all corners of the globe have known about it. So there you go.
Yeah, good.
I'm sure your phone lit up as well in the last 12 hours or so.
Yeah, a bit going on, but you know who the true friends are that have messaged you after the knock, and they've stayed up for the whole fixture and they know exactly what's going on. Not like some of the fickle friends who left at half time saying, "Geez, I wish we probably need a wicket over there." Advising, "Hey, Adam."
Yeah. I will say this though, Healy, my wife has been away for 2 weeks and got back from England last night. So is that a fair leave pass that I left you at about I think it was about the 37th over of India's innings?
Well, you manifested a couple of wickets after that, so I'll let you get away with that one. But yeah, it's been fun. Sort of, actually, it's been really cool having people follow the World Cup, and it's such an odd time over in Australia. Obviously, you get prime time for probably the first half of the game. But yeah, it's been really cool to see the Aussies really get behind it, and obviously the support over here has been great. But there's been a lot of people following on at home, which is quite cool.
Exactly, and the way you do watch it is about the only mob that I haven't worked for in Australia. It's on Prime Video, so you can access it easily. It's on Amazon Prime Video, and make sure you get across it. So, Heels, you've chucked them in, you've put them in, and at what point did you go, have I done the right thing here, or you were certain that it was going to be better batting conditions second innings? Yeah,
well. The last 2 days of training, we obviously get the daytime slot one day and we have the night slot the one before we get the opportunity to play. And both times the dew came in probably about 5:30. The day before the game, we got to training about 5:15, and by the time we'd started warm-up, the dew was well and truly in and quite set. So that's actually the back end of the first innings. So and all the reports that we'd sort of looked into the ground is that it gets quite dewy later in the evening. So gets a lot better to bat on as the night goes on. So winning the toss was actually, we felt quite crucial. You don't want to rely on it because I feel like we're highly skilled and we could do, both. If we needed to bowl second, we could have done just that as well. But yeah, when the coin came down tails, I went, you beauty, here we go. We'll hopefully restrict them to something quite decent. Thought it might turn throughout the day a little bit. And, we'll be able to chase him down under lights. And then all of a sudden they're none for 155 after 25 overs. And I went, oh, no. When did I know? Probably within the first 10. I thought, not again. Like, we've just played these guys in the series. We struggled to take wickets in the power play. We just watched them start the World Cup and they're losing wickets in the power play. Like, what are we doing wrong? Like, the wickets this wicket looked like it's playing a lot better. So there was a slight bit of concern, but I think by the back end, sounds really stupid, but the fact that we could restrict them to 330 was quite an amazing job by our group just to hang in there and take wickets at the back end. I think we probably should have been chasing more like 360 minimum. So the fact we could do that, it was pretty cool. But yeah, sometimes as a captain you think, like, was this the right call? Because it didn't offer a lot in the daytime, which we thought, it might, but nothing. It was flat.
Yeah, the two openers, to be fair to them, they handled what they had to handle very well, Pratika and Shmriti, because I did notice as soon as Soph Molyneux came on, you put her on and Ash Gardner, they started to accelerate straight away in that power play. And then it was really hard to get momentum back after that. Is that I don't know if helpless is the word, but is it along those lines when you're thinking, okay, we need something to go our way here. How am I going to do it?
Yeah, and that's probably the nature of one-day cricket a little bit as well. Sometimes you kind of just got to hang in there and hope that someone can make an error. It sounds like a really negative way to go about it, but funnily enough, something always happens when you stack a couple of quiet overs together, and I think Annabelle Sutherland was outstanding. And in combination with Alana King, I think there was a little spell in the middle there that they created a few dots, created a few overs where, it was less than 3 and over, 4 and over. And for some reason, you feel under pressure in that moment. I think with the amount of T20 cricket that we play now, 3 and 4 and over isn't enough. It feels like as a batter anymore. So when you can create that sort of pressure, funny things can happen. And we were able to do that. And then to cash in at the back end, I think they felt like they needed to accelerate quite quickly at about the 35th over, and we were able to hang in there and take wickets. So, yeah, that's the nature of one-day cricket. But, yeah, sometimes at times as a captain you feel a little bit helpless. But once again, I feel like we didn't quite execute early with the ball, and I think once we got that right, we were able to make things happen.
You saved Alana King until after they lost a wicket. Was that in essence trying to protect her a little bit because they were seeing the ball so well, and then let her come in and break another partnership straight away? Was that the thinking there? Because she is such a weapon on these wickets. Yeah,
it's probably the left-hand matchup. I'm not even doubting that Kingy could have bowled at Smriti, but I think when Smriti's in full flow, I think anything in her arc is dangerous, and probably for a leg spinner on that wicket, it wasn't a big boundary. The wicket sliding on can make things a little bit challenging. So, yeah, it's a hard call as a captain, I think, at times as to when to bring your leg spinner on, because they can more often than not, make something happen, create an opportunity. But thankfully, we're able to remove the lefty, and Kingy, like you said, Kingy came straight into the attack and had a real impact. So that's useful. Hopefully, we don't have to wait as long next time.
I mean, they posted 330. It would have been 325 if something didn't happen with a wicketkeeper at one stage. What happened there, Heels? One hit the helmet behind you. What happened?
I got done for all money, and I think it's just one of those, for those that didn't see it, the old nutmeg happened finally. And you know what? That's like one of the first time that's happened to me, where the helmet's actually behind me. It's gone genuinely through my legs and hit the helmet. So look, it was probably 4 either way, so they can take the 5 penalty runs. It's fine. But that shows how much work that Annabelle Sutherland puts on her back of the hand slower ball. That second bounce of it just went and shot straight between the legs. So I didn't have the cleanest day behind the stumps as well. I will point that out. I copped one just below the sternum at one point. So look, it hasn't been easy, but it's been good fun.
There was some rank stuff coming in from the boundary, I've got to say, but not easy, and a little bit of uneven surface there. You're nodding.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Oh, poor old Alana King, she just gave up. When she was over the stumps, she said, no, I'm not touching that. Bloody mid-off can get that. Thanks very much. But that summed up what was going on in the first half of that innings in terms of everything that maybe could go, it would go wrong. But just on Annabelle, you mentioned back of the hand stuff. That was what really undid them in that last 15 overs, wasn't it? How she was able to just, tie them in knots, even though they probably knew it was coming.
Yeah, and that's sometimes when you get a real flat wicket like that, we pride ourselves on our variations and what we can throw at oppositions, but sometimes the subtle stuff doesn't work. You actually got to go really big and actually make the batter think about what they're doing. And yeah, that's a skill that she's worked on tirelessly. We see it throughout the WBBL, and like as a batter, you know it's coming, but you still got to try and hit it hard. And sometimes you got to suck it up and get a single. But in that context of the game, they needed boundaries, and it's really hard to find the boundary with that severe lack of pace, knowing what her on pace ball could do, and that it'll skittle you pretty quickly. So yeah, kudos to her. She's one of the hardest workers within our group, and to see her get a reward with 5 for last night at a crucial moment was huge. And hopefully she can take that confidence for the rest of the tournament.
Now to one of your favourite parts of when we do Willow Talk and you do something, it's Alyssa Healy talking about how good she is. 142 of 107. So at what point did you know, oh, okay, this all feels pretty good and I feel in a good rhythm here?
142. No,
I say that. Fair dinkum.
No, it's funny. Everyone actually said that last night you looked like really locked in, really determined, and I probably was to an extent. But I actually got a little bit of fired up at the back end of our fielding innings, and I think I went out to bat grumpy. So maybe that's the secret moving forward. But no, I just feel like from the get-go, I felt like we needed to lock in and get off to a good start. And if we got off to a good start and laid some sort of platform for our middle order, or if it happened to be our day and someone cashed in, then we could potentially get this done. We've played India a little bit of late, and we've scored over 300 a heap of times. We put 400 on them, so we knew that we could chase it down. It's just, how do we give ourselves a platform to do that? And that's something we haven't done throughout this World Cup so far, and it's probably up to us openers a little bit to do that. So the fact we get off to a good start, and probably once it got past 50 and spin came on and there was just opportunities to score, I think it was just about holding on a little bit and just sort of turning the strike over and waiting for moments to capitalise. And that's sort of hard for me at times, to just not keep going hell for leather, but to create partnerships was really key. And we had plenty of them last night, which ultimately got us a result in the end.
Yeah. So there you have it, kids. Have the shits to achieve great things. That's how to put yourself in the mindset.
It's hard because I'm actually quite an emotional player. I wear my heart on my sleeve a little bit, and then to do it as captain, sometimes I get myself into trouble because I think a few of the young kids get a little bit scared of me. And I think last night I didn't really say boo to Phoebe before we went out to bat, and I think she was genuinely concerned that she'd done something wrong. So it's a fine balance, but at the same time, to egg yourself on to compete and get in the contest is something that works really well for me. So it's kind of finding a balance. Hopefully they're not too scared this morning.
Fave shot of the 142?
I probably, towards the start of my innings, I hit a little pickup off one of the quicks over mid-wicket, and I reckon that sort of got me going in my innings, so I'll take that one.
And there's like a little pitching wedge, wasn't it? There's a little pitching wedge, about 100.
Yeah, it was. I had to hit it harder than a pitching wedge, but yeah, it was. I'll take that. I think it sort of got me into my innings a little bit, which was cool.
So the World Cup goes on, and we continue our what is increasingly look like a game that the Australian cricket team is playing at the moment, and that's Century Lotto. So we've had Ash, we've had Beth, we've had Alyssa. I would say that Phoebe is due, Phoebe Litchfield, at some point. It will happen. I don't know exactly when, but who else are you going to throw in the mix there? Because you guys can just, top 8 almost. Alana, who was she coming in at 10 last night?
Yep.
So half century last
didn't get a stick last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Unlucky. Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't matter who gets it done. I think once you set to take it on and get 100 is key in our sort of our values as a batting side. So won't matter. Elise Perry might get it done in 2 stints if she keeps cramping. But if that's the case, then so be it. But yeah, hopefully, I hope it's the top order that are churning out the runs. It's going to be the way that we set up this World Cup. But our middle order are so good at coming in, not only when we're in strife, but if we set a platform. So it doesn't really matter who it is.
So that was the issue with Perry, cramp.
Cramp. Yeah, a little bit of cramp. I think she just was looking for some feedback as to, I can't really run a lot. Am I going to halt the momentum if, I'm here? And my first instinct was like, well, just have a slog. You'll be right. And then good old Pez, with all her mighty experience and wisdom, was like, well, if I have a slog and then I get out, then I can't come back later if we get into strife. And I was like, oh yeah, good call. You do that. If you need to go off, you go for that. And then to have her stroll out at 30 not out towards the back end was actually a blessing. So look, it all happened for a reason.
Did everyone cramp or just you two?
Well, Megan Shute cramping in the bowling innings as well. It's so hot and humid that I just don't think you can quite prep for it from a body perspective. And someone like Shooter who has more salt than anybody else in her diet. I don't know how she's cramping at any point, but she charges around the boundary. It's more often than not those guys that have done a heap of work in the outfield that are getting that at the moment. But it's happening right around the World Cup. So yeah, you just can't, there's no way to prep your body for this, and we do all the hard work and the preparation for it, but you just don't know when your body's going to let you down, which is, it's a unique experience, the old cramp.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not surprised actually with Megan, because she was patrolling that boundary and typical Hurd, not exactly dawdling to the ball and not exactly just rolling the arm over to get the ball back in. Everything was done at 120% velocity, so that could be a reason. World Cup as a whole, what have you made of it? I mean, South Africa having that big win over India, despite the fact early in the tournament they got bowled out for under 70 against England. England had a good win. Where's it all placed?
Yeah, I think it's starting to get interesting from a point of, I think, some of the wickets might show a little bit of a different proposition for teams, and there's some teams with some really good spinners, which has dominated the World Cup so far on some of these conditions that we thought. Obviously, playing the one-day series here leading in, it was flat wickets that, we thought it was going to be, batter's paradise every opportunity, but it's actually turned out to be a little bit of the opposite, that teams are having collapses when spin comes into the attack. So, it's delicately placed at the moment. I think we'll get a really good gauge on England in the next sort of week and a bit. I think they play India next Sunday, so that's probably a really interesting fixture for India, firstly, but also for England as well, to see where they're at. And yeah, from that point of view, there's some teams looking really good, and then there's some smokies that are really challenging what is, generally seen as the top teams. I think Bangladesh have rattled a few cages, which has been really cool to see. That happens every World Cup. You get a couple of teams that come in and beat some of the bigger sides, or challenge some of the perceived bigger sides. So it's been tough work, and I think that's what a one-day World Cup is supposed to look like. So I think the next sort of probably 8 days is going to determine what the top four is starting to look like, and probably shape it from there. And it's kind of all on India a little bit now to see how they sort of respond and get themselves into the contest, in particular against England, because I think that'll be crucial.
So you get to put the feet up. Not totally. You've got a game to play, but you've only got one game in the next 9 days. So this is this little lull period in a World Cup that you can have. So what's on the menu? Is it cultural experiences? Is it cricket experiences? It is ice bath experiences? What is it?
We'll get a couple of days off here in Vizag, and I haven't been here since 2011, so probably a little opportunity to go and see some stuff. I heard Sophie Molody wanted to go to the zoo, so we'll wait and see how that unfolds. But there's just little opportunities like that. We've got a little bit of downtime, a little bit of training, and it's just sort of staying active in your mind and probably in your body as well to prep for that. We actually, funnily enough, had a training session the other night, and it ended up being a game of staff v players in fumbles, and Elise Perry and our head of high performance actually ended up somehow tackling one another and ended up on the ground. So look, if there's an opportunity for another staffy players edition of that, I'm sure that the girls will get around that, because that was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So other than that, it's keeping yourself busy and occupied, and I'm sure I've got a heap of TV series to catch up on.
What's the game that you mentioned?
just that stupid game of fumbles where you boot the footy down the other end and you got to catch it on one bounce. And it was dewy, it was wet, and then you got to swap ends after every time you get a point. So if they fumble it, you got to swap ends. So you're kind of getting active at the same time. So we made up a stupid rule of, if you've got it, you got to run at the person to get it to the other end. Yeah, it didn't end well, but it was funny.
Okay. Well, Perry, a footy, as in like a rugby league ball that you're kicking.
We had the rugby league ball out. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be the AFL ball.
Interesting.
It's whichever one. The Steedon's a little bit more hardy in the wet.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you keeping across what's going on back here at all, or is it just like you're in a little bubble over there when you're in a World Cup? You know, when you go overseas, sometimes you come back, you go, "Oh, did that happen?" Like, how much of Australia are you taking in while you're over there representing Australia?
Well, I'll put it this way. The only real news I get is via social media, so you'll have to fill me in whether it's true or not. But
okay, shoot.
Yeah, I try and stay connected to a point, but I mean, there's only so much that you can cop, so probably not so much. But I see the Ashes chat's kicked off already, so that's been sort of an interesting one to follow, and we'll wait and see how the build up to that continues to grow.
Yeah, well, a couple of things. So Pat, who we'll hear from shortly with his best 11, his back is no better to say that I'm, apart from out of the first test, don't know about the rest of the summer, so we'll wait and see with that one. Scott Boland, he bowled for Victoria against South Australia. We had Chris Rogers on last week. He was happy with the way he went, so he looks like he's straight in. Marnus is scoring runs, and some bloke called Stark has signed back up to play for the Sixers during January. So that's about it that's going on here. Also,
the New South Wales Breakers are 4 from 4 in the WNCL, but forgot to mention that one, but I'll drop it in there.
There you go. There you go. Happy mention. Happy mention. And then, so off the back of this, you come back straight to WBBL? That's the schedule?
Yeah, basically, I think if you make the final, I think WBBL starts about 3 or 4 days after that. So it's a tight turnaround. Yeah, and I think we go to Perth potentially first, so it's a fly in, fly out situation. But I'm so looking forward to the WBBL this year. I think it's going to be awesome, and to have Mitch as well playing for the Sixers again. Obviously lead into December. We'll watch the Ashes, and then he'll get to play Big Bash in January. I think that's it's going to be a really cool summer to be a part of.
If it works out for you at this World Cup, and I'm not doubting it will after last night, you could be 30% Kingfisher when you play that first WBBL game. And everyone, drink responsibly.
Yeah, as is the nature of this window of ICC events for us in September, October, that's quite often the case that you've got to fly straight back in for WBBL. So I think the Kiwis, after the T20 World Cup last year, flew straight into India for a one-day series, and I think they were fueled by something they shouldn't be. So it's often the case, but that's part of being an elite athlete nowadays, where you fly in, fly out, and just ready to go. So we'll be fine.
Outstanding. Heels, you've been great with your time. Hours after doing what you did against India. Long may it continue, especially for the next few games with your teammates over there in India, and hopefully you bring a big shiny trophy home we can all celebrate with you.
That'll be lovely. Thanks for having me.
Heels, look forward to seeing you back here. We'll catch up with you before then, of course, and enjoy the zoo with Sophie Molyneux.
Thank you, I will.
Off to a quick break on Willow Talk. Back in a moment, Pat Cummins, best 11. Well, Pat, Ricky Ponting scored 1,378 test runs. Do you think the number will be equal, above, or below the amount of people who will ask you about your back in the next 2 months?
It's a good question. I reckon equal. It'll be roughly that ballpark, I reckon. Yeah, got a couple months to go. So,
have you got your bog standard response already set?
Well, I mean, it's just me being honest. So I'm like, yeah, it feels all right. We'll see how we go. We've got a bit of time, so should be right.
You've only got 28 million Australians and a couple of nosy Englishmen wanting to know what's going on, so good luck with that, mate. But I guess, you know the cues, don't you? You know acutely what it is, what it might be, what it could be, how to manage it. You got some experience in the field.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel like back in the day when I had a few of them, it took so long to build up. Have a break, and almost however long break you have, you almost need double that to get your body right. But more importantly, get your skills up and feel like you can bowl all day and those things. Whereas, I feel a bit better place nowadays that you can map out a plan where you can be, you can build up over the course of whatever, a month or two and be right for a test match.
The fences are okay at the farm. They don't need replacing in the next couple of months, because I can't imagine that's a great pursuit.
Yeah, no, I'll leave them to someone who knows what they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, I'll ask the doctor, so anything else that can help, 1% that can help rehab, and it's like, well, just make sure you're eating well and getting lots of sleep. So I said, my wife, you maybe the kids are up at 4 a.m. Sorry, I've got a test match to try and get right for. So
I've tried to use excuses in the past with my better half, and I haven't been able to use that one. So I'd use it if you could. So
I will try.
Good luck with it.
Good luck. She would rather me miss the whole series, I reckon.
How's that all going, by the way? The sleepless nights.
No, it is good. We got 2. Abs is almost 4. Edie's 7 months, and they're great fun. They're both just happy kids. So they do wake us up early occasionally, but always with a smile.
Awesome. Okay. Now we're here for the Willow Talk Best 11. Pat Cummins, are you ready to find the best 11 cricketers that you've played with for Australia? Is this an easy one for you?
No, it's not, because I can't win. Like, literally, for every person I'm picking, I'm probably leaving 3 or 4 out. So,
and you're going to let people down.
It's not. I don't feel super comfortable doing this.
Sorry, but are you going to pick it on the basis of talent, or are you going to pick it on the basis of who's going to give you the least amount of grief?
Probably that.
By picking them,
I reckon. Yeah. So
start at the top. Opening batters. Who you got?
We got Davey Warner.
Yep,
that's one. So
why Warner? Why does it spring to mind straight away?
Oh, yeah, average 50 odd or close to 50 for most of his career. Won a lot of games by himself. Just looked, him at his best, very scary to bowl to. So Davey makes it.
What was he like in the nets the day before a test match? Or 2 days before when
nets,
you're doing
he was
your
at the golf course the day before.
I was going to say,
with the bowlers.
That's why I quantified it with the 2 days before. Or the 3 days. But your main session before a test match, what was he like? Like a caged tiger, or he just go through the motions?
I think like most guys, they change throughout their career. Early on he was like super aggressive, go in the nets, face whoever it was, be swinging hard. I think later in the career, like most guys, they kind of know their game and just want to probably feel good and make sure they're sharp for the game. So he was, by the end, he was pretty relaxed. Yeah.
Who's opening the batting with him?
Can I come back to that?
Sure.
So I think 3 and 4 are easy.
Mm-hmm.
You got Ponting at 3.
Yep.
4 you got Smudge.
So you got Ponting at the back end of his career at the start of your career.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you? Were you like, I'll only speak if I'm spoken to, or was he pretty open with you?
No, he was great. Like all the guys in that team were awesome to me.
All?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was friendly. Well, to my face, maybe behind my back they weren't. But it was, I was 18. I hadn't really played much shield cricket or state cricket, so like my life never crossed over with these guys other than watching them on TV. So I couldn't believe I was travelling with them on the same team bus, staying in the same hotel. So yeah, Punter, Mike Hussey, Michael Clarke, Hads, these guys been in the team for close to a decade. I was like, what am I doing here? It's great.
So you can appreciate what Sam Constas is going through in a certain respect.
Yeah, I mean, I asked him. I wasn't meant to be a leading question, but I said, "Oh, growing up, who was your favourite players?" Yeah. And he's like, kind of like you guys." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Well, like growing up was 4 years ago." It was like, So I was like, it hit home. I was like, "Oh wow, that's all right. That's cool."
Yeah. I'm old.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 Ponting, 4
Smithy. Speaks for itself, I think. Averaging 60.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same bloke as when you first met him?
Smithy, I reckon most of the time, yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes when it's cricket he's quite focused but you get him at the pub having a beer or watching the NRL or something, and he's hilarious. He makes us laugh so much.
Oh, he's got a bit of an alter ego, does he?
Well, it's just
or was the cricket the alter ego and then he's back to normal?
No, they work hand in hand, but it's just like he's got his quirky funny bits, and he knows they're funny, so he leans into them a bit. So I don't think that's ever left. I think very similar.
Is the whole tapping the bat in the hotel and you can hear it at 2 a.m, is that a bit of mayo on that, is there? Or
no, I don't think mayo. I think that's actually gone down a little bit in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
I reckon he's relaxed a little bit. He's found golf, which I reckon if you asked him 3 or 4 years ago, he would have been like, no way am I playing golf. Now he's like first in, booking rounds.
Yep.
Even missing the odd optional session to go and play golf, which is like unheard of for Smithy.
Extraordinary.
So I think he switches off a bit more now outside of it.
Whatever works, he's still averaging 60, isn't he?
Exactly.
So he's going okay.
I think he's doing all right.
5.
I think you got to have. I know it might be out of position, but Clarke.
I think you'd accept that.
Yeah. Again, I feel like I'm letting a lot of people down here. But yeah, I mean, superstar all around the world. Only played one test with him. He was skipper for my debut.
Saw him a lot at New South Wales training. A fair bit when you were coming through, or was it?
Not really.
He was travelling a lot.
Well, how my injuries kind of worked was I was always available during the winter, and then doing rehab during the summer. So I was always just by myself because everyone was busy playing and I was the one rehabbing in the gym. So yeah, it didn't cross over too much. Like he was obviously playing for Australia most of the time. But yeah, I did a couple of tours with Clarke. He was awesome. He I really enjoyed him as captain.
Well, the South Africa one was ups and downs, wasn't it? When you made your debut, because the test before was the wicket every 3 balls scenario. How was he around that? Did you pick up anything in terms of leadership? Or
I think he got 100 in that game.
Yeah, the first first dig.
Honestly, I was so naive to it all. I was like, that was my first experience of Test cricket other than watching on TV, and I was like, is this like every Test match? Like 15 wickets in a day or something? Or was it 20 odd wickets in a day?
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. I just didn't know what else to measure it against. It was just like, all right, that's my one experience of Test cricket.
You were just happy when MJ Clarke turned around and said, "You're playing."
Yeah.
The next one.
I still didn't know how I was there, really. So, yeah.
6. This is a tough one. Everyone's found this tough.
I've got a few that spring to mind at 6. And I've got a few very good close mates who I'm going to... I think the one that no one can argue with, because obviously you go the all-rounder, so, Watto, Greeny, those type of operators.
You don't have to, by the way. It's your team.
Exactly.
You don't have to do anything.
I mean, I could pick 6 bowlers.
You can do that.
I think what I'm going to do is... I mean, Mitch Marsh has done well there. Trav Head's been phenomenal at 5 or 6. Probably is very close. The one I think the one that everyone's happy with is Mike Hussey. I'm going Huss at 6.
Yep. Again,
so far, other than Smithy, I've gone for everyone that's not playing in our team, so that it's just like
I can see the strategy now. I can see it.
No one can get upset at me because I'm not picking favourites amongst our current team.
Huss.
So Huss at 6.
You just loved him as a cricketer growing up, no doubt.
Loved him as a cricketer growing up.
Yeah.
Loved him on tour. He really looked after me on tour. Just a champion.
Yep.
And yeah, I reckon he'll win us a lot of games batting at number 6.
And a fair old alter ego I've heard as well. You don't need to delve into that. You can if you want.
Yeah, no, he's good fun. Yeah, Mike Huss.
You left a bit out there, haven't you?
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, I'll let Hads fill in the gaps there. So 7, we had Hads, who I know is probably eagerly waiting to see if I pick him. Painey, Wadey, kept a bit. I'm trying to think who else. And then it's just the current keeper. So I missed anyone out there? I think that's it. So
didn't cross over with Peter Neville? No, you were out at the time?
No, I didn't play with Nev for Australia. Played for New South Wales.
This is a tough one.
I'm sorry, Hads. We're going with Kez. So
Kerry. What tipped the balance in his favour? Nothing against Hads, but
Kerry's in the current side, and he by picking him, I'm not leaving anyone out. Like Ingo, I've played one test with Ingo, but he didn't keep, so I'm not upsetting him. So Kerry's a current player. I really like him. He's won us a lot of games in the last few years.
You two won one together in New Zealand.
That's right. And I think he's just a proper cricketer. So
a proper cricketer.
Sorry, Hads, but we're going with Alex.
Again, this is not to say that Brad Haddon wasn't a proper cricketer.
Your words.
Okay, 8 to 11. Now, I'm assuming.
I mean, I got to look after my good mates here. So we've got to go I'll go. Well, let's go Starkey at 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Gaz at 10.
Yeah.
And because he reckons it's a specialist position, we'll go Joshy Hazelwood at 11.
Talk us through the fact that number 11 can be a specialist position.
Well, it's just whenever there's talk of someone else coming to the team, like a Scotty Boland, and it's like, oh, who's going to be 10, 11? Hoff's like, specialist position, you can't move me out 11, 11. So,
done some great things there.
yeah, exactly.
So, 2 and 9.
So
got a few.
So who are some of the openers I've gone with? Obviously Uzi in the current side. Semi's not played a lot. I think we had Sosper for a while. Who am I forgetting here?
The late great Phil Hughes was in your first test, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So play one with Hughesy. Davey, I'm trying to go through this. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit left field here.
We like left field.
I'm not sure I've even played in a test match where he's open. Maybe I have. My memory's not great. But I'm going heady. I'm going Trav opening.
Up the order.
I feel like Davey and Trav would be a pretty formidable opening combination.
Well, you're not going to be known for 20 off 30.
I'd hope not. I wouldn't let them have another crack at it if that was going to be the case.
So, are you preempting something for summer here?
No, I just I like Trav, and I feel like if he's not in the team, I wouldn't hear the end of it. So I've got to fit him in somewhere, and he can open. And I think he'd be happy. Like he's always said, opening's great. It's a free hit. You know, play a few shots. If you get out, you go and sit down. Perfect. Don't have to sit around waiting.
He's happy with that.
Not much phases, Trav.
So a seminal moment approaching here. Do you pick yourself?
Nah, not picking myself. I am. So who I've got number 9. So I need a bowler. We've got Jono Sidzi played my first test. Who else plays? Scotty Boland, Birdie. I'm trying to think of other bowlers of.
So Scott Boland was the last Australian quick to debut in a test match, and that was in 2021. So around that, you've got Michael Nisa, you've got Jai Richardson.
Yeah, I didn't play with them though. No. I played one with Jai, or maybe 2 with Jai.
Yeah.
But I missed that test. Just going through Todd Murph, Paddo.
James Pattinson.
I think it's between Paddo and Jono. I only played one with Jono.
But whatever decision you make is going to be aggressive.
Yeah, I'm going for Paddo.
Paddo?
Yeah, sorry Jono, but going to Paddo.
Who's got the new pill there?
I'll go Starkey and Hoff.
Yeah.
And then Paddo an aggressive first change. Yep.
Okay. 2 more questions.
Yep.
To fill it all out. 12th man. So 12th man is very much a consideration of social ability as much as fielding team morale ability. And you can take it any way you want.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a few good options there. Yeah, I'm going M. Marsh.
Great social coordinator.
Yep.
Great for energy.
Yep.
What other qualities?
Just a good time merchant. I feel like, a couple of times you run out the drinks and he'll give you a nice little pat in the back and a little pump up when you need it. You just know, you have an unexpected win on day 3, thinking it was going on day 4, and you go, oh, what are we going to do tonight? You know he's got something lined up already.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
is that good?
He's always thinking forward. So just good energy. I think you get around the lads when you go to the Perth test. Might take you out on the boat for a couple of hours. So you need that.
Yeah. Outstanding. I've actually got 2 more questions.
Okay.
Around captaincy and team song. So you got a couple of guys who have done the team song in that 11.
Yeah. There's a few, I think.
Well, there's the current one, and then there's the previous, and then the previous before that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to go to the OG from my era. So we're going M. Huss, team song.
Team song.
But Gaz did an excellent job. Kerry so far started strong. He's been excellent.
For pure enthusiasm, though, do they all get into it, or they have their different, one treats it a bit more like a ballad, the other one like an AC/DC song, or is it just pure enthusiasm from all three of them?
I think it changes from test to test, series to series. M House always, it was always a special occasion when M House did it. He put some thought into it, got everyone involved.
Is there a precursor track to it? As in, this song's come over the boombox. Yeah, it's not too far away.
Yeah, True Blue.
Yeah. Oh, True Blue.
Yeah, so when that comes on,
jeez.
I think there's something else there for a while. That's for the test side. I think, sometimes the white ball just cracks straight into the song.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you do it, I think it's a different song.
It's a series, isn't it, though, for a white ball?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, if it feels right, we'll do it. If there's nothing too formal to it.
Okay, who's your captain?
Ooh. I mean, again, whoever I pick, I'm going to upset here. I'm going to pick a bowler. Just because I feel like that's funny. And there's a lot of past captains there, and if you pick one, the other are upset. So I'm going to go for Joshy Hazlewood as our captain. He's done one or two ODIs for Australia.
Can you captain at fine leg?
Absolutely, you can. And he's batting 11, so he's got a bit of thinking time. Hoff's my skipper.
Okay.
There you go. I don't reckon anyone would replicate that. But they haven't tried it and they haven't seen him in action. So,
left field solution to the captaincy issue. It's a damn good 11 though, Pat Cummins. So well done on completing it.
Thank
you
you.
Feel relieved now?
A little bit. I'm just trying to work where the blowback's going to come from. I think I've looked after Marshy. I've looked after Trav. A couple other guys were stiff to miss out. No, I'm pretty happy.
Cool. That'll win a few cricket games, I reckon.
I think so. They'll have some fun.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
That's it for this edition of Willow Talk. Back on Thursday. Keep an eye on this one. Hads, myself, and a very special guest joining us to talk about some big cricket just around the corner here in Australia. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.